and letting in journalists. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for this press conference for Disney's Godmothered. Just want to give you a couple of things to run down first before we start. As a reminder, we are please expecting that everyone keep their video off and themselves muted unless you are called upon to ask a question. So please, at this time, if your video is on, if you can please turn it off and make sure that you are muted so that we can have the best video and audio quality for everyone. How we are going to be asking the questions is that if you do have a question, we ask that by clicking on the participant tab at the bottom of your screen, that you click on the raise your hand icon, and then our moderator will call upon you to unmute yourself to ask your question. So if you do have a question throughout the press conference, please be sure to hit the raise hand icon and we'll get through as many as possible. And just as a reminder, please to keep yourself muted unless called upon, and then mute yourself once again. We'll get through as many questions as possible. And thank you very much for your patience and for cooperating with us. So without further ado, thank you for joining us. And let me introduce to you our moderator, Candace Valdez.
Hello, everybody. How are you? I'm Candace Valdez from Radio Disney. Very excited to have all of you guys here for this global press conference for Disney Godmothered. You guys know it's going to be streaming on Disney Plus coming up December 4th. And I'm excited to introduce the cast to you guys today. So if you're ready, please welcome the fabulous Jillian Bell, Isla Fisher, Jillian Spader, Willa Skye, Santiago Cabrera is here, Artemis Pebdani, Utkarsh Ambudkar, and Jane Curtin. Hey! Welcome, everybody. I know you're so excited to talk about this movie. I feel so lucky that I've actually had a chance to see the movie. So congratulations, first of all. It was so cute, so fun. My only regret was that I don't have my Christmas decorations up right now. I wish I had the complete vibe going on. But I'm excited to chat with you guys. And we'll start with Jillian. Give us a brief rundown of what Disney Godmothered is all about.
It is a story about a fairy godmother in training who I play, Eleanor, and she goes down to Earth to prove that fairy godmothers are still needed. And she is looking for a little girl by the name of Mackenzie Walsh, and comes to find out that the little girl is now grown up and is played by the lovely Isla Fisher. And Mackenzie, the character Isla plays, doesn't really believe that she needs a fairy godmother, but maybe she does. Maybe she does.
Maybe she does. There you go. And Isla, tell me a little bit about the balance of comedy and heart in this movie, because we know your comedic humor and your physical comedy is amazing, but tell me about the balance in this movie between the two.
Well, that's what's fun about this story. It's we kind of think of it as a hybrid of broadcast news meets Elf. We've got a lot of fun physical comedy and a lot of, sight gags and slapstick. And then we have also wordplay. And my character is more, I'm kind of the straight man in this story, which is something I haven't really enjoyed before. I mean, had the opportunity to get to play. And it was just really nice, trying not to laugh when Jillian is absolutely hilarious.
And Jane, I'm curious to know how this character compares to other characters that you've played before, because her hair is incredible, and that must have been a long time in hair and makeup and wardrobe and all of that stuff.
Well, it was the only tall character I've ever played. So it was a momentous thing for me to actually tower over other people. But the makeup and the hair and the costumes created that character. I mean, they forced you into a certain posture and a certain way of being, and it really suited the strictness of Moira. So I liked the whole outfit.
Yeah, and I'm curious, Jillian and Willa, did you guys actually feel like siblings on set filming this?
I think I did.
Yes, absolutely. We love each other so much, and we had lots of cuddle parties, and we played with lots of slime in our free time.
Yeah.
Lots of slime. Okay, I like that. And we should shout out Willa. She said she got her braces off, so that's a big deal. Congratulations. And you guys, there's a little bit of a news situation going on. I don't want to give too much away in the movie. Santiago, Artemis, and Utkarsh. Were you guys familiar with news TV production before this movie?
No, I mean, apart from watching some morning news shows, but no, that was the one research thing in the movie that at least I got to do, which is go to a news station. I think, Isla, you went to the same one. We went to a news station in LA and, you know, got taken around by real news people and morning and like field reporters, at least in my case. And then we had someone on set in Boston who was sort of someone, and she was helpful. You could go to her every once in a while.
Yeah. I mean, I have to play like a news boss who has no idea what he's doing. So I didn't have to do any research and it worked out just fine.
You nailed it. You nailed it. It seemed, was it hard to be that mean? You're a little mean, a little bossy.
I'm supposed to say yes. It was very difficult, super tough. I feel like you trapped me there. It's really fun to play with Isla and Santiago and Artemis. We had a lot of scenes together, and they're great to play with. So yeah, Isla kept egging me on, which was nice. It was.
You made me laugh so much. You're so funny. Some of his improvs, in fact, a lot of it's in the movie, so you get to see his comedy right there. But he would just say, it was just really funny. He had a buzzer that he would just hit and then do an improv line, and we were in stitches.
Artemis, are you behind the camera at all in real life?
Believe it or not, no. I know I did a very convincing job. I also was trained. Somebody came to set. A couple people came to set and taught me how to hold it and look tough and really what you would do, you know, how close your eyeball would actually get, that sort of thing. Even though I feel like we did just a little bit, I just did a little bit of in-studio work, but for the most part, we were out and about in the field and playing with and avoiding snow and all those good things.
I love it. Well, I'm excited for you guys to take questions from all the press that we have today. So welcome everybody. Remember to use the raise hand feature and unmute your video, your audio and video, and we'll start taking questions if you guys are ready. I'm going to try to scroll. There's a lot of you guys in here. So we're going to start with, let's see, Shannon McGrew.
Oh, that was my first choice also.
Oh, good.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shannon from Nightmarish Conjurings. I'm not going to put my video on because I'm sick, not with COVID. So my question is for Jillian. I would love to know what it was like having to perform wearing that dress the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't really have a costume change besides I'm in PJs at one point, but for the most part, I am in a corset and a ball gown the entire time we shot. And I will say that I actually really liked it. Like Jane said, it really helps you like get into character, stay in character, helps the posture. But there was one day where we were on a field and it was very cold. It was 17 degrees and I was just in the dress and I was shaking uncontrollably. But like, besides that, I feel like I don't know, made it work, loved it, you know, I wish I could have kept one because I like to keep one costume for everything I do, but this was a pretty massive costume to ask for.
Thank you.
Were you just happy to get in sweatpants at the end of the day?
This is the first time they've seen me in not either a ball gown or sweatpants because I was constantly in sweatpants when I wasn't in it.
I love that. All right, Fred Topol. I might be messing up your names, but we're happy to have you ask a question if you'll unmute.
Thank you. It's Topel. And my question is also that's okay, for Jillian Bell. Was being a Disney character a dream of yours, and did Godmothered fulfill that dream?
Absolutely, to both. I mean, who doesn't grow up wanting to be a Disney princess. I mean, that's the goal. All of the women on this are shaking their heads. We're like, yes. Yeah, this script came along and I'd always been looking for something, some kind of a magical being to play, because my goal in life was to play a witch. And this is the closest I've ever gotten to it. She's got magic and spells and is trying to make Isla's character's dreams come true. And so, yeah, I think this was definitely a goal, and to get to do it is, I'm still blown away that I got the part and got to act amongst all these people. It was such a great cast.
Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna go to Laura Siriko. If you'll unmute, we'll take your question.
Yes, perfect. This is for Santiago. You are the king of accents. So I just wanted to know, we're so used to seeing you in serious and adult roles, such as Picard, Merlin, and Big Little Lies, and Three Musketeers. But now you're in a Disney movie and as a prince. How was it to transition and kind of like play this lovable dad character after playing all these serious, like, knock roles?
Well, it was an an appeal, because you always want to change things up. But I also like that it wasn't your typical prince. It was like, Prince Charming in quotes, because he's kind of like the underdog, and he definitely felt like Isla's character was out of his league, rightly so. And it was, I loved the part that he was a guy who was like a serious journalist who wanted to report important stories and good news, and he's in this like last in the ratings sensationalist morning show, being abused by his boss, and that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of fun elements to it, and of course the cast and everyone, to work with everyone, it was great. But you always want to change things up. So if it's an opportunity to do something different, then you go for it.
Thank you for your question. All right, we're gonna take a question from Brandon from Movie Scene Canada.
How's it going, everybody? Can you guys see me?
Hi, okay. We can.
Awesome. Well, first of all, congratulations on the movie. But this question's for anybody from the cast who wants to answer it. So with the world being in the state that it's in right now, I think that now is a perfect time for a film like this to come out. A film that reminds us that happily ever after and fairy tales, you can still find them. They're out there, but we might be looking in the wrong places. So do you guys hope that that's what audiences will get from this movie, like a refreshed sense of hope?
Yeah, absolutely. And for young girls watching, Happy Ever After doesn't necessarily include a castle, a prince, and a dress. It can be blessings you have in your life with your family or work. Or
I think it also represents what the world is today. And it's not 1860 anymore. It's not castles and all of this kind of stuff. It's happily ever after is what you want. It's what you believe. And it's a goal that you can achieve on your own. If you want it, if you believe that you can get it, it's something that it's not reliant on magic. It's reliant on you and your spirit. And I think that that's really something that we all have to remember, is that we are capable of such amazing things and such positive things for ourselves and for others. And that's happily ever after.
Oh, get the warm fuzzies from that. Thank you, Jane. Let's take a question from Beth Elderkin, if you'll unmute.
Yes, hi. I'm Beth Elderkin, IO9. I apologize for my casual appearance. 6.5 months pregnant, decided to sit on the couch for this one. So this is for Jillian or anyone else who would wish to chime in as well. So at the end of the film, we get this animated sequence where we see Eleanor training the next generation of godmothers. And one of them looks to be either a boy or gender non-conforming. And I want to know, do you know if this was intentional? And if so, does it make you happy to see a more inclusive group of godmothers joining the fold?
I will start off and just say that I teared up. I actually got to see just a one sheet of all the little fairy godmothers. And I immediately wrote back and I said, is that a boy or is that a non-binary person? Whatever, either way, I'm very excited. This is progressive and inclusive and will make someone feel seen. And I think at the end of the day, if we can be doing that in such a big movie and a Disney movie, that's a beautiful thing.
Love that. I'm seeing people smile from that answer. All right, let's go to Courtney Howard. If you'll unmute, we'll take your question.
Hi, my question was actually about building off of Shannon's about wearing the ball gown for Jillian Bell. Did you collaborate at all with the costume designer on the ball gown and how heavy it was? Was this a physical challenge for you?
You know, she took care of me. She definitely took care of me. She made sure that I was warm when we were shooting very cold scenes. And she made sure that I could move around a lot because it was very physical, most of the scenes. And it was like a team effort. You know, our director, Sharon McGuire, was there, and the head of costumes, and we all kind of came together, and it started with a corset. I actually went to David's bridal and I tried on all different types of wedding dresses, and they were all huge ball gowns. And I remember seeing other women there that were trying on dresses to be married, and they were looking at me, and I was in the poofiest thing falling out of a dressing room, and they were all like, congratulations, but looking at me like I was but that's how we kind of found the framing for the corset and the ball gown look. So yeah, it went through many different versions, but we all kind of got there together, and I was so pleased when I saw the final product.
All right, we're going to go to Jenna Bush. And just a reminder for the press, if you'll leave your video off, just unmute your audio and we'll take your question, Jenna.
Hey guys, this is for Jillian the Younger. Can you talk a little bit about filming the big performance scene?
Sure. Filming the performance scene was really fun for me because I'm a singer and guitar player in real life. So getting to do that and also getting to act was such a fun experience to do at the same time. I've said a couple of times today, it's kind of funny because I got on the stage and there were so many wonderful background actors, and I looked out and I was like, wow, there's a lot of people here. I'm scared. And I was like nervous and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. But it was so much fun. And I think we filmed that scene for 2 days, but we all had a blast, and it was quite cold because we were in an airplane hangar and I was in a sleeveless dress. So I was shivering, but Jillian Bell taught me a wonderful trick to breathe out the shivers. And I took that with me the whole movie.
So good. All right, we're going to go to Marta Nunes. If you'll unmute your audio.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to ask Jillian and Jane if you were inspired by other characters of Disney, such the Godmothers of Sleeping Beauty and the Cinderella Godmother, if they inspire you in any way.
Yeah, I mean, the fairy godmother from Cinderella, for sure. She's the OG, she's the original godmother. And I was definitely trying not to channel her too much. So I had to create something slightly different. But I mean, that's the one to try to beat.
I channeled her because there was a lot of this, you know, she was a lot of this, a lot of arms and waist acting. But I just remembered I also played another Disney character, and it was I think Sleeping Beauty's 50th anniversary or 50th birthday, and I played the Wicked Queen. Ooh. Oh, it was just one night, overnight in Disneyland. We shot it from midnight until 6 o'clock the next morning. And I had the cape and the things coming out of my fingernails when I'd go to the mirror. Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Thank you.
I've never heard that. Waist up acting. Is that a thing? Yeah. That is a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Speaking wearing those clothes, you really, that's all you can use. Is from the waist up. Yeah.
Ooh, Karsh, you don't know about that, right? You're full in.
Wearing a corset? No, not yet, but I hope to experience that someday soon.
In your next Disney film. There you go.
Yeah, give me a chance.
Yes. Let's take a question from Tati from Cool Moms, Cool Tips. I know we have some moms in the room and moms to be, we just found out. So we'll take your question if you'll unmute.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tati from Cool Moms, Cool Tips, and thank you for such a beautiful and wonderful movie. It's full of so many good things. My question is for Jillian Bell and Jane Curtin. You both play godmothers granting wishes, so I was curious if you had any wishes you wanted to have granted to you.
I mean, it depends how heavy we're getting right now, because I'd love for us to have a vaccine and go back to normal living, or should we answer fun ways?
I think that that's all we can wish for right now. Yeah. That's the wish we all want.
I want to be able to hug these lovely people and see them. Isla was talking about, you know, getting all together and just being able to like have a cast party, because we wrapped a couple days before we were supposed to wrap. We never got to do that.
Sad. I'm so sad. We're having it right now. We'll have pretend this is a little party. Cheers, guys. Congrats. Hugs. All the things. Okay, let's take a question from Mr. Will Wong. If you'll just unmute.
Hi, I know I'm not supposed to turn on my camera, but my dog's name's Beanie and the film's set in Town. So this is a perfect moment. I could have brought her on to say hi. So hi, guys.
I want to meet your dog.
Well, she's just about 3 months old. So I just brought her home, so I'm so excited. Thank you. And I just want to ask a question. Like, a huge fan of Sharon Maguire. I mean, she's responsible for Bridget Jones' Babies, some of the most fantastic films of our time. She maintains that element of heartfeltness and also that whimsicality also in this film, which I enjoyed so much. Can you talk about the experience working with her?
I had never worked with Sharon before, and I had a lovely time working with her. She's very exact, and she does like to do many takes, but she gets interesting things out of people. I thought it was fun working with Sharon. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was different and really great.
Yeah, it was cool working with a female director. It was a cool experience.
I was such a fan of Bridget Jones, and I was so excited to get to work with her. And one of the first things she did, which I loved, was get Isla and I together alone. And like, I mean, this is going to sound creepy now, but in a hotel room. But
what were you wearing?
Harvey Weinstein was not there.
No, we got together and we just started improvising and playing around, and that kind of set the tone for Isla and I to really just like be playful with each other and go in knowing each other, because I knew Utkarsh, we'd done a movie together, 2 movies together, but I didn't know Isla, I didn't know anyone else of these fabulous people, but that was really nice. I really appreciated that.
I'm just curious, Isla, for you, what's that first day on set like? Because you guys have to be so excited, but what's the vibe like on set for day one?
It's always really nerve-wracking. I can only speak for me. I always feel like, oh no, everyone's going to realize that I'm miscast, or that some of my choices that I sometimes show up with an idea of how and then it all sort of gets thrown out the window depending on, you know. I think it's like anything. It's like being new at school. You want to do a really good job, and you try your best to do that. And you also have a lot of new people to meet and a lot of names to forget.
And any favorite days on set, Artemis? I'm curious. You guys have your little team of news people in the movie. So any favorite days on set with your castmates you could talk about?
Yeah, I mean, we were a straight up crew, so that felt cool. You know, every little place had its own thing, but there was one time where we were out during the, what's it called? I'm in football, and I do a party called the tailgate party.
Tailgate, yes.
So much was happening there, and you got to see little bits of it. But do y'all remember that costume contest? What was it they were pretending to be cats on a catwalk?
Yeah, cats. Yeah.
There was like eating contests, and I remember just being so enamored with everybody's talents, eating talents, and just trying to hold it in myself. I don't want to speak for them. That was a pretty great day, and I think it was maybe 2 days in a row.
Yeah,
that we were outside doing tailgating. which I haven't actually had a lot of experience with in for real's life. So it was nice to be part of that all-American tradition.
Yeah. Have any of you actually tailgated?
Never.
No, I haven't. That was my first as well.
First tailgate.
We escaped the set that day as well, Artemis, didn't we? We went for a nice lunch one of those days.
I remember you guys were really jealous. You guys came back and had.
We had a big break and we went into town in our costumes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was always a good time. Yeah.
I had a giant prosthetic on, so I couldn't join you. Scared the customers.
Amazing. And you guys filmed this in Boston, right? Any standout memories from Boston? Because I've been there once to go to see Katy Perry perform for Radio Disney, and that's it. So
I grew up there. I grew up there. It was like going home. All of the Teamsters were like my cousins. I loved riding to work every morning with those guys. I just loved them so much. It's like being home.
They loved you as well, Jane. They would just talk about you every time.
Yeah. Oh, love those boys. Yeah.
In more of you. They had a lot of fun.
All right, let's go to Courtney Howard. If you'll just unmute your microphone and we'll take your question.
Hi, you already got me before, but I guess I could, yeah. I asked Jillian about the costume, but I guess I can ask everybody, how did this, working on this film, sort of satiate any sort of career dream of theirs?
That's a good one.
I think every girl wants to have something to do with Disney. Every little girl thinks about walking around doing this with a wand in their hand,
or being
and making. Huh?
What'd you say?
Yeah, no, I'm saying, or in my case, I don't know that I dreamt about being a miserable mom, but I really loved playing it in this role and getting to experience my character kind of fulfilling her inner need, to find happiness. It was amazing. Sorry.
Thanks.
No. I like that.
All right, we're going to go to Tonya Lamb.
Hi, my question is for Willa and for Jillian Spader. So Gary totally made me laugh. And so I was wondering, if both of you had a Gary, what would you have him do for you?
You can go first if you want, Jill.
I gotta think. There's so many things you could choose here. Go for it, Willa.
Well, I'm not sure, but I would probably have him make me a s'more because that's my favorite dessert. I really love s'mores. He would clean my room for me, definitely. And do my homework.
Smart. I'd probably have him do my laundry. I finally stopped making my mom do my laundry because I was like, okay, I'm 18. If I'm gonna pretend I'm an adult, I should probably do my own laundry, but here I am trying to pass it off onto a magical raccoon. So I see we haven't come too far.
Ukarsh, I'm going to ask you that question too, because there's diapers, the situation at your house, right?
Oh yeah, we just started feeding our son solids. So it's harrowing. It is. I mean, I know this is a Disney movie, but if you guys want to watch a horror movie, just come to my house. 3 a.m. 3 a.m. every night. I've got a screaming banshee of a son who is dropping bombs. And yeah, if a magical creature, yeah, Gary, if you're listening, help me out. I'm sleep deprived.
I love that. All right, let's take a question from Melissa from Generation N.
Hola, saludos from Miami. How's everyone?
Hi.
Good.
Good. Well, I truly enjoyed this film. I think it's exactly what we need going into this holiday season. So thank you so much for that. Now, being part of this Disney film, there was so much comedy. How much of it was ad-lib? Because I mean, it was lovely. The message was wonderful, but I mean, the comedy was excellent.
Thank you. That's very sweet. I mean, I feel like Utkarsh got to improvise probably the most.
Yeah.
I mean, which was great. We improvised a little bit, but we also stuck to the script. The script was so funny already. And so we had a good jumping off point. What do you think, Fish?
I agree. I mean, we did a little bit of improv. You did a little bit. You did that great line "sharks," which kills me when I watch the movie.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Sharon's husband is Indian, so I got special treatment. Not gonna
Well,
lie.
I'd like to tell you that you were all talking about a tailgate, and you are all welcome down to Miami for a proper tailgate whenever you'd like to have a party down here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I
There's
think
your
I
cast
enjoy
party.
it.
All right, we'll go to Cara O'Doherty. Are you actually in Ireland?
Yes, I am. I am actually in Ireland.
Welcome.
So good morning from over here. Santiago, your character gets to dress up in historical costume, and you've acted in quite a few period and historical dramas. So I was wondering, if you had your own fairy godmother, is there a historical character that you have not yet played that you would like to get some magic just sprinkled onto so that you could?
Oh, that's a good question. I just went, when you said that costume, I just went to, it was my first day of work of how cold it was. I think Isla and I, we both thought our feet were going to come off when we took our shoes off. It was the coldest day. And I was wearing these like stockings that were like, protected me zero in these shoes. But I don't know. I love being surprised. I feel like you never, when people ask you the question of like, what would you like to do? I always feel like, well, what's your favorite job? It's always the next one, So I go, there's so many periods of history I'd love to play. So I don't think one of them necessarily stands out. But I love playing real people, maybe play like a genius like Mozart or something like that. That would be amazing. Yeah.
Or like Amelia Earhart. You'd be great.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that'd be a real transformation, wouldn't it?
I don't know. Stretch, man. You gotta just.
I think it'd be easy to find on a beach.
See what would happen.
All right, we're going to go over to Marilia Pastor. We'll take your question if you'll unmute.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. My question is for Isla. When we meet Mackenzie, she has given up on the idea of the happily ever after. When you grow up, one must accept that some wishes from your youth won't come true. So where do you stand between these two ideas, or maybe in between?
I think that what's great about life, at least from my perspective, I try to sort of keep it as an open book and not really pin my hopes on anything. I don't know if that's healthy or not. I've just been like that since I was a kid. So I've always been incredibly surprised that I'm employed, married, have a wonderful family. Like everything feels like a bonus for me. I don't know if that makes me I don't know. I think though that it's nice to have goals, and equally it's nice to let life kind of let situations in life guide you into new beginnings or openings that you might not have envisaged for yourself, and push yourself out of your comfort zone by being open to doing something potentially that wasn't necessarily in your wheelhouse. To quote Americans, they always say wheelhouse. Is it in her wheelhouse? I don't even know what it means, but it sounds great.
We don't either.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's a nautical term.
Oh!
It was motorcycles.
Now we know. Okay, let's go to Lupe from Cinemovie. If you'll unmute your audio.
All right. Hi, how are you guys? Great movie. I just love the messaging behind it. And I wanted to know, since we have various generations here, do people still believe in fairies like we did maybe growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s or earlier? And for the boys, what did you guys grow up believing or wanting to believe?
If you ask my daughter right now what she wants to be when she grows up, she'll tell you a fairy. So we 100% believe and support in magic in our household. So yeah, that's where I'm at. We're constantly in fairy mode.
We believed in fairies for a while until we didn't. I think that's normal.
Will you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Good question. Let's go to Laughing Place. Alex is here. If you'll unmute, we'll take your question. We have about 10 minutes left, guys. I'm going to try to get through as many more of these as I can.
Hello. My question was, you guys, some of you got to work with a dog, a pig, and maybe a raccoon, questionable if he was on set. But I wanted to know about working with those animals, and if you didn't have them there, what you were interacting with.
Well, we had them there. It was over the top of our dialogue. Screaming pig, ruining our lines, right? Will and Jillian? Oh my God.
The pig loved to interrupt takes, but the pig also loved to leave takes when he was supposed to be there. So
yeah, she had one temper tantrum in the middle of the scene.
Yeah.
I think that she had a different script than us, to be fair. I feel that she had different cues and exits than we had. So
yeah, that's true. Hers says action, screech until they say cut. And that's it. So.
And what about the trotters? I had to have a jump on me, and she literally shredded my leg with her vicious little claws. I mean, she was terrifying.
I will say that because she's not in the conference, it feels terrible that we're talking about her. You know, if she could represent for herself, then it's fair. But
hey, she made us all laugh.
She was no Gary. She was no Gary.
Yeah, Gary was not on set. Gary, a stuffed animal version of Gary was on set.
Maybe dog version of Bingo gave pig version of Bingo her lines.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to Tanzine and from Mashable.
Yeah, hi. My question is for Isla. Since you are a mom, do you believe at all in the concept of telling fairy tales to your children? And if yes, what stories have you told your kids?
Wait, sorry, say that one more time. I didn't hear that question. Sorry.
Yeah, do you tell fairy tales to your children since you are a mom? And if yes, what stories have you told your children?
Well, I think obviously a lot of the fairy tale stories are you know, a little bit offensive. It's sort of they're pushing a certain type of male, you know, being rescued by a prince, or a woman without a mother, an abandoned woman, or a woman as a witch, as a stepmother. So a lot of these stereotypes are kind of not really what as a parent, they don't necessarily match my ideals. So I've always sort of reformed them and, you know, restructured them. And I've always, you know, exchanged words like beautiful for good or smart, or I think that's what all kind of modern moms do, because we don't want to intentionally, you know, we're just trying to subvert the stereotypes that are there because they're so old.
Good question.
Thank you so much.
We're going to go to Scott Menzel. If you'll unmute.
Sure. Hi, how is everyone today?
Good. Yeah.
So fun movie. And I wanted to ask Jillian this question. After your incredible turn in Brittany Runs a Marathon last year, what was it like being back in a leading lady role?
Well, thank you. It was very different. Brittany Runs a Marathon, we shot in like 25 days or something crazy. And some of the time, like especially during the marathon scenes, we were breaking down the cameras and doing everything ourselves. So it was very hands-on in a different way. This felt like, you know, it's big, it's massive, it's Disney. So there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, not in a bad way, but just a lot of people. And so I think, you know, figuring out who your character is and really sticking to that and being open to other ideas and collaborating on a different level. It just feels like a totally different thing. But I will say that I I enjoy it mostly for the fact that there's not too much downtime. I think when you're not the lead, there is so much time that people don't even realize that you're just kind of sitting around waiting. And I will say that, like, this has been, I just feel lucky to even be in this situation. Anytime anyone even knows who I am, I'm like, why? Who paid you? So both situations, I feel really lucky.
Thanks. We're going to go to Diana Sue. If you'll unmute and ask your question.
Hi, everybody. This movie made me feel loved, and I want to take that and ask each of you, what other Disney movie can you remember? Just choose one because we don't have time. That have made you feel loved.
Ooh, what a good question.
Wall-E is the movie.
Wall-E, is that what you said, Wall-E? I love Wall-E.
I love Wall-E. Wall-E's
Yeah.
so cool.
Okay.
I love Lady and the Tramp, made me feel warm and fuzzy.
Oh,
We loved Lady and the Tramp.
Especially the live version of Lady and the Tramp. They used only rescue dogs for that movie.
I didn't see that.
My friend Matilda trained the dogs on that.
Oh, I'd love to see that. I'll see that. Yeah.
Yeah. She did it.
I love
All right.
Beast. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. They're like, we're done with that question, Julian. I'm like, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, feel free. You can talk about Beauty and the Beast all day.
Sorry.
I do love
squeeze in a few more. Let's see, Laura Siriko.
Hi, yes. I just want to quickly, because I know other people want to ask their questions, but the movie really plays on the importance of going viral versus the news station, and they're trying to get the news out. Do you guys feel, how is having the responsibility of whatever you guys post will go viral, and that is considered news? How much pressure and responsibility do you guys feel when you post your stuff that does eventually go viral as celebrities and actors and you know?
I don't know, so someone else can answer this.
I'm not on social media, so I don't count.
I mean, I think social media just as a platform has to just be rethought in a major way. It's spreading conspiracy and hate and lies, and it's threatening our planet and democracy, and the publishers should abide by, they are publishers, basic practices and standards, and not be spreading nonsense and being a platform for hate groups to join up. So I'm a big believer now that we're on a precipice. We need to get involved and stop these big corporations changing the way we all think and not being able to tell what to believe or what not to believe.
It's amazing how your life is different when you're not on social media. It's amazing.
You're
Yeah, I
so
think
relaxed, Shane.
It's very much about finding, I think the real work is about finding the same truth, where we all kind of agree on what the truth is, and then we can go back to arguing and, just kind of disagree on issues, but it's about finding that, right? Finding the truth. Yeah, for sure.
Having grown up on social media, though, I can say it is a negative space, but also has this beautiful light to it where I've seen a lot of people my age and younger who are getting very involved in big topics they should be involved in, and we're meeting friends from all around. So it can be so negative, but it also has this beautiful thing that none of us would have ever gotten to experience without it. So
there you go. Well said, Jillian. Well, guys, we're out of time. So my apologies if we didn't get to your question, but I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with the cast of Godmothered. Again, it's going to be streaming on Disney Plus December 4th. Decorate for the holidays if you do that before you watch it, so you don't have regret like me. But the film was so lovely. So congratulations to all of you. And thanks everyone for joining us today from all over the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Do I leave?